Senior high schools in Ghana face an imminent shutdown due to the shortage of food in their stores. Earlier this week, the Upper West Regional Chapter of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, SHSs, issued a 15th July ultimatum to shut down schools if food is not provided. In response, the Ministry of Education announced supplies will be released Tuesday, 12th July. But JoyNews checks revealed the schools are yet to receive the supplies. Yesterday, the Eastern Regional Chapter of SHSs, the latest to serve notice of a possible shutdown of the schools. Let's get an update on the situation in our schools and speak with our correspondent across the country, starting with Kofi Siao, who is in the Eastern region, where SHSs issued a statement yesterday. Bright Kweku will be joining us later. But Kofi, what is the update there?
Okay, so Brace, the situation is the same. Nothing has changed. The headmaster says they are still expecting food from the buffer stock and their suppliers. So for now, it hasn't changed. What they say is that they are expecting government to honor part of the agreement, or by tomorrow they're going to, shut down these schools. But the chairman of the regional child says that this cannot be done by the association. They are only going to recommend to the Ghana Education Service to do so because they cannot cope with the current situation on campus.
So if I get you right, it means that tomorrow there will be the decision for the kids to go home. Do I get you right?
That is what the chairman of the association told me a while ago. He says that they are going to recommend to GS to take that action because they, as an association, cannot take that action to close down schools in the region.
All right, now let me go to the Ashanti region where Emmanuel Bright Kweku is standing by. Emma, what is the update from the Ashanti region? Emma, kindly unmute your mic so we can hear you. Your mic is
all right. Please, yeah. Am I audible?
Yes,
now?
You're.
All right. So it's the same situation here in the Ashanti region. You know, the schools went on break for the Eid break. So they were expected to come to school yesterday. So we were hoping that they will get their commodities yesterday. But as of yesterday, they've not received any of the food items. I earlier engaged with one of the headmasters of the schools, the senior high schools in the Ashanti region, and then he was particularly worried about the situation because he told me they have none of the items there. They are short of oil, they are short of rice, they are short of sugar, and the other commodities. So he was actually worried. He told me categorically that they've not brought anything to them. They are yet to receive their food items. So that is the situation in the Ashanti region.
Yeah. Now, Rafiq Salam is joining us from the Upper West region. Rafiq, what can you tell us from where you are?
Same with the Upper West region, that they were expected to get these food items from the Ministry of Education on Tuesday. As I speak to you now, 48 hours after that promise, they have not gotten that food yet. Yesterday, the regional buffer stock, I'm told, met to the heads of assisted senior high schools in the region that they were going to treat the Upper West issue as agent and also as an emergency. And so what they wanted to do was to get some people into the market, do some market surveys, bring a price list for them to deal with it locally here. This morning, I checked again from the schools and that they have not gotten any scintilla of any food items into their stores. As I talk to you now, there's a meeting also ongoing at the Upper West Regional Directorate of the Ghana Education Service between the buffer stock manager, Mr. Akansiaba John, and also the regional director of the Ghana Education Service, Mr. Razak Abdul Kura, and then also the GS accountant and other people. They are at a crunch meeting to decide on what the next line of action are to take. As for now, the situation in Upper West region hasn't improved, and then the students are really at their wit ends, and they are saying that they are uncomfortable. They are now sitting in hunger, and then also even this morning, some of the schools they gave them a porridge without sugar, and who they think that isn't the best.
Rafiq, we understood from the Education Ministry earlier that some food supplies were on their way. Haven't you heard anything in relation to that?
I think they have made a U-turn on that promise because we were told that some vehicles were dispatched. Those vehicles, we haven't seen them in the upper region. And I'm telling you that the buffer stock, it was on the Charles platform that the buffer stock told them that they will go to treat the upper one's issue as an agent one, as a different issue because it's an emergency issue. And so they want the price list. As at 12 noon, I think that price list was given to the buffer stock for them to do the sale, to do the buying of the food items in the Wa municipality here. But as I talk to you now, nothing has happened. We haven't seen those vehicles that they are expecting. I don't think they are even expecting any vehicle. Now the headmasters are at their wits end, and they are really deeply worried about the situation. Even some students who are in their final years are even suggesting that at least because the Form 1s and Form 2s came to school with our food. And so the Form 3s, their food that they are using, they are suggesting that they should ask their Form 1s and Form 2s to go home so that at least the fewer foods that they have at their possession, they could use it to take care of them, to enable them go to classes. So now the headmasters are not, the schools are not in the best of shape for this.
Let's now move to the northern region where Martina Bogre is standing by. Martina, what can you tell us is happening from your end?
From the northern region, I guess it's the same story in the northern region. You check with the headmasters, they would not speak to the issue. I mean, they would just tell you they wouldn't comment. But my checks within the schools indicates that they haven't received anything as of today. Some, we are told, received some provisions last week. And so that's what they are managing with at the moment. Now, if you speak to the students, they tell you that they have had to develop some strategies to be able to survive. So I buy for us to eat this morning, and then you would also buy for someone else to eat in the afternoon. This is how they are developing some strategies to be able to survive. I shared a plate of rice with Kojo last night from one of the schools, and you see the food, the guy says is for 2 people, and they're even fortunate because some of their colleagues did not come to the dining, and so they had excess. And you look at the food that is supposed to be for a growing child to eat and learn, and it is not the best of all.
Interesting. So those are from our correspondent giving us update on what has been happening in relation to food shortages, which have hit senior high school.